trains also physiologically the vascular system, cardiovascular system. And the cardiovascular system is like 100,000 kilometers long in every person in the world. And it contains millions of little muscles. And normally we do not train those muscles because we wear clothes all the time. But when you expose yourself to the cold, then these 100,000 kilometers of vascular channels, those are capillaries, veins and arteries, containing millions of primitive muscles, they are stimulated. They are exercised, and then the blood flow goes a lot better through the system to the cells, and the heart rate goes down. That means more energy and less stress. I always say, get high on your own supply. I got so bloody much energy, and that is because of going into the cold. They say, comfort, comfort, we want comfort. You know what is real comfort? Go out of your comfort zone and get into power. That is comfort. That's all awaiting.
That's wonderfully said, Wim. And you're so right. And one of the things, because I've been a great admirer of yours, and of course of your story and your protocol and your method. I've been using it in my own life for last couple of years, especially since we last met in LA Summit. You remember? And you told me that after that you were going to go to San Francisco to do some studies and experiments. And I will get into that. I want to ask you something a little bit more about the science and scientific experience that were done on you, and what are they telling us. But I want to firstly ask you, when did you develop the breathing part of the protocol and the meditation or mental training part of the protocol?
Yeah, it's amazing, and it's an amazing story, and it's actually genius. You know why? Because I was not there. Because I followed my gut. I followed my intuition. That makes a person a genius. Then the genius is able to come because you are not there. Then the presence is able to, and down inside, and you see the splendor of nature, of your inner nature, and it's amazing. So when I went into the cold water, the first thing you do when you go into the cold water is that is gasping, is deeply breathing, is what we normally never do. We don't do this because we have a non-stimulative behavior. But when you do sport, you go because you want oxygen. Now, when you go into the cold, you need oxygen. And if you breathe deeper, more oxygen comes in, body becomes alkaline, and the adrenal axis is beginning to be activated. It's because of the cold, you begin to breathe deeply, then you go so deep that the adrenal axis is being activated, and the adrenaline is shooting out, and you are able to stay for quite long times in ice water, which is a great aggressor. It's a big stressor. But you are able from within, through deep breathing, to make it, it's nice. It's okay. It's okay.
Exactly.
You know, and so then I began, after doing this in 17, 18 years, I was very intensive training and going into this breathing. It's a long time, always doing it alone because everybody thought I was crazy. And I say, I'm still bloody crazy. I'm crazy about life and my wife. But it's not crazy to go into cold water. And now people begin to understand what this all means, especially because it is endorsed with the new science. We talk about this later. But back then, I followed my intuition. I got into these breathing techniques, shaped by going into the cold water every day in every winter. And it makes you able to go through the breath and change the chemistry deeply inside the physiology. It's amazing what you can do with that. And then I began to separate the breathing. So I went into the cold water anyway, but then at home, I began to do these same breathing techniques I had been shaping up through going into the cold water every day. And amazing what I saw. Amazing what I could. I could withhold like 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes. And I saw all the lights, you know, all what they have been writing in these books about the chakras and the lights. And I saw it all. It was boring. It's so much. You know why it's boring? Because they make it so esoteric, so far away. And now it is just here. And it is here for everybody. And that's my goal. My goal is to make this accessible and effective through science for everybody. We will come back on that with the science, because now with the pandemic, the coronavirus, we took the bacteria inside, injected, doing these breathing techniques. They show to change the chemistry inside so much that the bacteria injected could do nothing.
That's amazing.
And that is what the world needs.
Absolutely. And you before you have done that, before you've conducted yourself with that experience where they injected I wrote it down, it's bacteria and endotoxin, right?
Yeah, endotoxin,
right? So it was basically, it was supposed to challenge our understanding of nervous system, right? Of how it responds, what is your immunity going to respond like to that. And for most of the people, literally 9 out of 10, I guess you are not in that group, you would have quite severe immune response. You would get a fever, you'd start, your physiology or your metabolism would get compromised. But what happened with you? Did you do breathing and cold as well before that, or it was just breathing before they injected bacteria?
Just breathing and mindset.
It was before or also after you've done breathing techniques?
No, not before. While I was in the hospital.
Okay.
Then they came with the injection. And of course, I said to the guys, listen, I'm here to prove that the autonomic nervous system plus the innate immune system, which is thought of through in science, inaccessible, not accessible by humans, but I will show that we are able to access. I'm a human, I'm a man, I'm simple, I'm here. I will show that we are able, in contrary of what you guys have been writing hundreds of years in medical science. And they said, okay, you try, you maybe, okay, let's go. And then they gave me the injection. My mind was already there, convinced that I was able to go into the innate immune system and into the autonomic nervous system. And this was thought of until then impossible for humans to go into. And I showed it. An hour later, when the peak of the bacteria injected should have made a lot of symptoms, they saw nothing. There was no fever, no uncontrollable shivering, no pain, no agony, no nothing was there.
It's amazing.
It was just, hey, is this it? Because is this it? When is it coming? It should have come there at that moment fully. That means 16,134 people before me in the same experiment got sick, very sick.
And you were the only one and the first one that didn't get sick.
Exactly. And then after the whole experiment, they saw in the blood that my all the values that I had suppressed, that's what makes us sick. That is inflammation. The inflammatory markers in the blood with me went fully down. And then I said to the guys, to these doctors, but hey guys, You think because I'm the Iceman that I'm special or an anomaly, extraordinary, and only I can do it. I say everybody can do it. Give me a group of people and I will show that within 10 days, I will train them to go into the autonomic nervous system and innate immune system, wherein science is thinking it is impossible for humans. I will make 100% score with 12 people, give the injections, and they will all get rid of the bacteria. And people finally said, yes, let's do this. We have a control group of 18 or 12 people who are not trained, and 12 people who are trained by you. And the people who were not trained, they really got sick, all. And the 12 people I trained, nobody got sick. And then we had scientific proof for the first time in medical science that the autonomic nervous system can be influenced deeply, plus the innate immune system.